Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Can't imagine many ladies are listening right now, but if you are, we accept you as
Hey,
well.
they're listening because I'm on.
Oh, is that the case? Welcome to the Primetime Fantasy Podcast. Today's November 1st. Happy belated Halloween, everybody. And before we get into the Week 9 matchups, slated with a bye week, a brutal bye week for many fantasy owners.
Well, before we get into that,
Well, we're going to get into this
Yeah,
trade.
but in the bye weeks, I
Oh.
just want to mention this. In one of my fantasy leagues, I'm getting bit by the bye week. I have Michael Thomas on bye, I have Cooper Kupp on bye, I have Joe Mixon on bye, and I have Devontae Freeman on bye.
Yeah.
4 of my best starters are all on bye. And my other receiver, Devontae Adams, is questionable.
Right.
So my team.
This one's hurting a lot of people.
I need wins bad, and I'm not going to win this week with all 5 of my players possibly being out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm picking up the Lions' Trey Carson as my RB1 this week.
You think he gets any carries?
No, it's just that's the best thing I can do
Yeah.
on waivers because it's a 12 team and everyone's stashed as running back. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm in a little bit of trouble this week in that league. But I mean, at least all their buys are on 1 week, and then I don't have to deal with it again. But it doesn't help.
Does not help this week. And I imagine, your team in the other league's pretty good, right? What's your record?
Well,
in
no,
there?
I'm actually struggling in that one. I'm 3-5.
Oh,
I have a better team than my record says it is, but that's because Adams has been out for the past 4.
it's
four
all
weeks.
it's all about different matchups. Just,
I mean, my
probably-
team's better than 3-5. It's just we're 3-5. A
Yeah.
little bit of bad luck with my opponents outscoring their projections and injuries.
I hear you.
But let's get into the trade I made with you today, Garrett.
Yes, breaking news. We made another trade.
So
This one's not nearly as bad as the last one. I'll throw that out there. You think otherwise, but I think
here's the trade. I offered Garrett Juju Smith-Schuster and Sterling Shepard, and he decided to give me a gold bar, which was Keenan Allen.
I traded Keenan Allen for Juju Smith-Schuster, both at the same value. I'll add.
Well, okay, you explain why you accepted the trade, then I'll
They
explain.
are both getting the same amount of target share. They have a similar schedule where it's not great teams, but teams that they can do well against. Like I said, same target share. And they're you're looking at you're splitting hairs when it comes to them for the rest of the year. I mean, Keenan Allen has not done well these past few weeks. Juju Smith has had his weeks where he doesn't play all that well. So they're both guys that could easily miss if they want to. But I can't consider Keenan Allen an elite fantasy receiver. He played amazing for the first 4 or 5 games. Since then, it's kind of gone downhill. Granted, the teams haven't necessarily been the easiest to go up against. But even with Mike Williams and Hunter Henry going down, his target share doesn't go up. It's only stagnant there. And so you're basically trading. And then when he gave me Sterling Shepard, he is a great last 3 weeks. I think it's like the Eagles.
At the Eagles, home against the Dolphins, at Washington. So
Yeah.
that's a great playoff.
Great
schedule.
playoff schedule. And that's if he's healthy. I don't know what this concussion looks like, but I'd imagine he'd be healthy.
And that's if you make the playoffs and advance in the playoffs.
Oh,
Because
come on.
No, I'm just saying, let's say you're in the first round of the playoffs and you lose. Well, home against Miami at Washington doesn't matter anymore. So
You're right, but
it matters if you're winning, but that is a very good schedule. And I'll get into the trade here. I actually think Sterling Shepard will be better for you than Schuster will be in the end of the
Really?
for the playoffs. I mean, because you just talk about the schedule. That schedule is really weak.
yeah.
And I talked about how much I loved Schuster at the beginning of the year, but now he's got Mason Rudolph and he doesn't have Big Ben, so I'm not as high on him. He had a great week last week, and I use that to. I just feel like he's inconsistent now. He's Deontay Johnson, the other receiver there. He's kind of breaking out. The offense runs through James Conner when he's healthy. He gets almost 50% of the touches in that offense.
It is a run first team. With
And
Mason Rudolph.
Samuels will get involved, and I'm happy I moved off of Schuster, not because I don't like the player, it's just because in fantasy I want more consistency, and I know I'm going to get 10 targets a week from Keenan Allen. I don't know if I'm getting 10 targets a week from Schuster.
And you might not. And the thing is with Keenan Allen is he does get 10 targets every week. he doesn't make the most out of all those targets. I've ended up with
But this, the bottom line is I trust Phillip Rivers more than I trust Mason Rudolph. I trust the Chargers offense more than I trust.
You haven't seen the Chargers offense this year.
But their schedule
not
will
been the
ease up
best.
a little bit. I'm just saying the Chargers offense to me is significantly. They have a better pass offense than the Steelers have right now, and I just think Schuster sees the team's best coverage and he's struggling with dealing with the average quarterback at this point. You know, Big Ben could help him out.
See, I'll throw this out there about Philip Rivers, and it's not going to make a strong point, but I don't think Philip Rivers has been
No, I don't
as
think
great
he's
as
been great either. But
yeah.
Phillip Rivers loves himself some Keenan Allen, and just because Keenan Allen's had a poor,
And Rudolph likes to spread the ball
Just
out a
because
lot.
Keenan Allen's had a poor 3 or 4 weeks doesn't mean he can't have a great stretch of 3 or 4 weeks.
And that's true as well.
And so I just, at the end of the day, I'm right now. I'm set up to, be in the playoffs. So I'm just trying to set my team up to just be loaded. So I have Devontae Adams as my wide receiver 1, and I have Keenan Allen as my 2, and DJ Shark as my 3. So I'm happy with my receivers if they're healthy, and I love my running backs at this point right now.
Yeah, and that's all the trades you should be making at this point should be trying to set you up for the playoffs. I mean, like unless
Unless you need wins. Like at this point, I don't need wins. I'm 6-2 right now. I probably need 2 more wins to automatically make the playoffs, and probably 3 wins to get a first round bye.
right.
Which I like because that gives you one less game you have to have a chance of losing in order to win. So.
And then I'm trying to make moves based on right now and the future.
I
'Cause I'm
don't
4-4.
I don't think it was a terrible trade for you because I like Sterling Shepard when he's healthy. But you could run into the problem. You have Evan Ingram right now.
Yeah.
And you have Shepard, and so you could run into a playoff week where you're starting both those guys, and if Daniel Jones, who's a rookie, struggles, that could cost you your season right there. And
You think he's gonna? I mean, like
well, he can struggle. He's a
against
rookie.
the Miami.
Again, at Philadelphia.
Do you see they ran an engage 8 on a pass play and it ended up in a touchdown.
I know Philly's secondary is terrible, but late in the year, it could be snow in there. Philadelphia's pass rush is pretty good.
Now we're just getting into ifs and buts. This is.
I'm just saying there's the threat there. I mean, if you say there's
You're not
no
saying.
chance,
You're just saying. I hear you. No,
there is a chance there. There's more risk with Schuster and Shepard than there is with Allen, in my opinion. Even though Allen has not produced the last 4 weeks. His track record says he's going to get 100 catches a year for 1,000 yards. That's just his track record.
That is his track record.
And Schuster has a track record, but he doesn't have a track record with Mason Rudolph. I mean, he had a good week last week, but part of that is because he played the Dolphins.
I think I don't know. I value Schuster and Keenan Allen the same. I do value Keenan Allen slightly better than Schuster, but the added bonus of Sterling Shepard.
I don't think you hear what you said. You value them the same, and then you said you value.
If I had to pick one above the other, I would pick Keenan Allen.
But they're not like a significant difference.
There's not a big difference between them, and
Okay.
If you were to put like
I was
the
just
grade of
confused
like,
because in the same sentence you're like I value them the same, but I value Allen more.
I guess I could have worded that better, but and an added bonus is Shepard.
And we play each other this week, so
that's right. Did you listen to Pog's block?
Nope.
No. See, doesn't
Did
support his own.
Did you tell him what our records are?
See, he doesn't support his own co-host
Well, just
and his
to
show.
put this out there right now, Garrett is 500 at 4-4, which is mediocre, and I'm at 6-2. I should be 7-1.
Mediocre.
I'm 7-1. I should be 7-1, but my competition plays up to their they always.
Oh yeah, that's little.
They get really nervous and they have their career weeks every week they play me. So I've had 2 losses against 3.
Oh, you can take this one as a career week too. I'll putting the hammer down on you.
Even if I lose, I'm still a lock to make the playoffs.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I may take the foot off the gas.
We're hearing the excuses already. The head-to-head, we're already hearing the excuses. Jeez, Nick, you're unbelievable.
All right, moving into,
Let's get into the games.
weekly games. Garrett, the Texans. We're gonna do something different this week. Instead of going player to player, which takes like 3 hours to do, we're just gonna go through each game and say what one player we are high on and what one player we are down on. And let's just give an example. The first game is the Texans at the Jaguars, right?
Yep.
just because I don't say I'm high on DeAndre Hopkins and I say like Fournette or something, whatever. If I don't mention a player's name, that doesn't mean I'm not high on them, right? Someone may be like, "Well, Hopkins is a top 5 receiver. You didn't say you're high on." Well,
Well, yeah, you kind of said it yourself.
We're
Yeah.
mentioning one player that we're high on, one player we're down
And these
on.
are going to be guys that are like you're
So-
borderline. Okay, do I start him? Do I
Right.
not? Yeah.
So I mean, obviously DeAndre Hopkins is a must start, right?
Right.
So
Every
these are
week.
going to be guys that are, start. These are guys like Kenny Stills and Will Fullers and those
Yeah.
type of players. So Garrett getting into the first game, one player high on.
Well,
one player
first let's
down
get into
on.
the picks. I mean, you're really going to pick the Cardinals against the Niners.
No, I'm picking the 49ers.
So am I. So, all right, let's get that out of the way. Going into the Texans at Jags, the one player I'm high on is Gardner Minshew. This Texans pass defense is terrible, stinks, and Gardner Minshew is going to capitalize on that. I believe they played before, and he capitalized on that. And he's going to do that in the Jaguars, basically their home field advantage when it's in London, because those London people love themselves some Jacksonville Jaguars. They don't have a hot tub in their stadium, but they love the Jaguars just as much as Jacksonville, probably even more. So Gardner Minshew is going to thrive in that home field environment. And the one player that I'm low on is going to be Carlos Hyde. A lot of people are liking him as a flex option week to week because of his pass catching ability, especially in PPR. But I don't like him against the Jaguars. I still think their run defense is good. You might say their pass defense is a little weaker now that Jalen Ramsey is out of there. And and I'm gonna take the Jaguars to win this game in London.
Okay, one player that I'm high on in this game is Texans tight end Darren Fells. Last 4 weeks, he has 4 total touchdowns. Last week against Oakland, he had 6 catches for 58 yards and 2 scores. With the tight end position being the way it is these days, and even Travis Kelce isn't blowing people out of the water with production. To get a guy like Darren Fells, he's most likely probably owned in 50% of leagues, so if he's out there, I would get him. He is definitely someone I'm high on in this game. Jacksonville, they have fast athletic linebackers like Miles Jack and Talvin Smith, but they're better against the run than they are against tight ends. Deshaun Watson loves Darren Fells. He says basically his basically quote unquote dump off guy. And in today's world of tight ends struggling in fantasy, I just think Darren Fells is pretty safe this week against Jacksonville.
Do you think he gets another touchdown? Those touchdowns are hard to keep up. 4 touchdowns in 4 weeks. That's hard to.
No, I wouldn't guarantee a touchdown, but if I had to say am I more on the 51% that he gets a touchdown?
Yeah.
Or not, I would say, I think he gets a touchdown this week.
Okay.
Just because I'm high on the Texans offense.
Fells is a good player. I like Fells.
Player I'm down on this week would be Carlos Hyde. Just because I think the Jaguars have a good front seven. I talked about their linebackers. Carlos Hyde is a very touchdown dependent guy, especially in PPR. He's not involved in the passing game. This offense runs through the receiving core, so Carlos Hyde may get 18 carries, but if he gets 70 yards and no touchdown, then you're in real trouble there. So the guy I'm down on this week is Carlos Hyde. And my winner this week will be the Texans.
All right. You've picked the Texans most weeks, haven't you? To win?
I'm just high on Deshaun Watson.
I hear you. Yeah.
Next game, Garrett, the Bears at the Eagles.
All right. I don't know who I'm high on, so I'm going to start with who I'm low on. I talked about this in Pog's block.
You're not high on Mitchell Trubisky?
No. You thought I'd have been high on Cam Newton if he got traded there. I'm low on David Montgomery this week. I mentioned this in Pog's block. That Eagles front seven is loaded, and to think that him or Tariq Cohen or any of these guys are going to do well running up the middle, they're not. And Matt Nagy, you heard him getting mad in his press conference, being real stern with the reporters, because he knows deep down in his heart that Mitchell Trubisky stinks, and you're not going to win many games with him. So I am low on David Montgomery. I'll say I'm high on the Bears defense. I'm high on the Bears defense this week. Of course, you should start him every week.
They're playing Carson Wentz, right?
What's that?
It's not like they're playing Carson Wentz. It's not like they're playing,
Well, yeah,
Kyle Allen.
they're not playing like
Kyle Allen or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, they're not like going up against an idiot, but
You calling Kyle Allen?
I'm not calling Kyle Allen. Hey, you said Kyle Allen. I didn't. All right. Bears defense, obviously, you should start the Bears defense most weeks, if not every week. But this is a tough game offensively. If you're watching this game, sorry, I feel bad. this is going to be a real I think this is going to be a defensive matchup. Low scoring game. I see like a 10-7 victory, and I'm going to lean towards the Bears in this one, surprisingly. Not a big Bears fan, but I think the Bears get it done against the Eagles.
All right, player I'm high on this week is Allen Robinson of the Bears. We just got done. The Eagles have one of the 2 worst secondaries in football. You can argue them and the Dolphins or whatever. I don't love Trubisky, but just the matchup is too good here. Allen Robinson, consistent targets. The last 2 weeks, he had 16 targets in one game, and last week he had 7. But I just think he's going to get. I think he's going to get at least 8 to 10 targets this week. You talked about how good the Eagles front 7 is.
Yeah.
So Montgomery, a rookie, and the committee they have there. I don't think they'll be able to run the ball that effectively. I'm not high on Trubisky, but Allen is a guy I'm high on this week. He's a talented player. He will get opportunity. I'm not threatened by that Eagles secondary.
And that's a good one, yeah.
Player I'm down on this week is going to be David Montgomery, the guy you just mentioned. The Eagles front 7's way too good.
Yeah.
Fletcher Cox, if he's playing, is one of the 3 best defensive tackles in football. I just think that Tariq Cohen gets involved here because of the passing game. And if you're in PPR, David Montgomery is like at best an RB3. In standard, I feel better because the receptions don't matter, but I think he's touchdown dependent this week, and I don't see him getting a touchdown. Did you make your pick this week?
Yep, I'm picking the Bears.
All right, I will take the Eagles at home. This is where when I look at teams and I think they're pretty evenly matched talent-wise, I just pick the quarterback that I think.
And that's a good rule of thumb.
I think Carson Wentz is significantly better than Trubisky.
How much better?
Like significantly. Like if I had to give out grades, I would say Carson Wentz is an A quarterback and Trubisky is a C+.
Do you think he's as bad as Andy Dalton?
No, Trubisky, he's not great, but the people hate down
Andy Dalton's
on him
getting
because
benched for.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Trubisky. There's a lot of Trubisky's an above-average quarterback, but he's hated on because they passed on Watson and Patrick Mahomes. So there you go.
Yeah.
And so I'm taking the Eagles in this.
And honestly, this game could swing either way. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles went and took the dub out there.
And if this game was in Chicago, I'd probably take Chicago because their defense
monsters of the Midway
is better.
Yeah.
Garrett, get into the next game. Colts at Steelers.
Colts at the Steelers. I was not thinking about this game as you were talking about the Eagles. So I am high on Juju Smith. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you just traded for him.
Yeah. I'm high on.
You should say you're down on Schuster, even though you just traded for him. And then, oh shoot.
Yeah.
He's my player. Wait, never mind.
A lot of people. I'm gonna say I'm down on the Steelers running backs, and I'm putting multiple in there because
James Conner right now looks like he isn't going to play.
Well, now they're saying Benny Snell's not going to play and that he's out for 3 weeks. So right now,
it looks like Jalen Samuels will be the heavy workload guy.
Right.
And Trey Edmonds, their running back, the brother of Terrell Edmonds in the secondary, he will be the.
Now, do you trust Trey Edmonds? That's my thing. No. So, and even
I'm
if
not saying I wouldn't play Jalen Samuels, I think he's a chance here because he's going to get the workload. The Steelers' offense goes through the run. So
yeah, I'm down on the Steelers running backs. Even if some of these guys suit up, even though they're not supposed to play, it's the Colts are a good run defense. They've been pretty good against the run for the most part this season. Am I wrong? You just gave me this look like no, you're wrong, Garrett. No, all right. But yeah, and I think just kind of this, changing of the guard every single week at running back. It's hard to follow. And, a lot of people say that James Conner, great running back, but he is, he's had injury issues all year long.
And it looks like he's missing this game. So
yeah. And so it's hard to trust him. And I'll say that I am high on, we'll go with Jacoby Brissett. Steelers pass defense, they're not one of the better ones, but they're in the middle tier. Jacoby Brissett really has his team rallied behind him. He's definitely, taking control of the locker room. A lot of people would wonder, are they going to miss Andrew Luck? Are they not going to do as well because of Andrew Luck? they definitely believe that Brissett is the guy, and he's definitely going to be the one. You know, if they ever get good enough to take him to a Super Bowl, I think Brissett can easily be that guy for them. And so in this game, I'm gonna take the Steelers in an upset. I'm gonna take the Steelers in an upset. Home field advantage. Brissett will still do well, but I think the Steelers just get one up on the Colts. I think this will be a closer game.
Okay, player I'm high on this week. It's kind of going to be a sleeper almost because not a lot of people know about him, but it's Zach Pascal from the Colts, wide receiver.
Yes, I forgot about him.
The Steelers really don't have a good secondary at all. I like their pass rush better than their secondary. Pascal is getting involved in the offense a lot more. Last week, he only had one catch for 6 yards, but if you look at the week before, he had 6 receptions for 106 and 2 touchdowns. We talked about Brissett. I think the Colts will have a good game on offense. I think this could be, both teams in the high 20s. I'll go with Zach Pascal as a sleeper. I could have made it easy and said T.Y. Hilton, but everyone's starting T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah.
I wanted to go deeper here, and I think a sleeper you could play this week as your flex.
And he's been a good flex some weeks, yeah.
A guy I'm down on this week would be Marlon Mack, and it's not because I'm down on the player. I'm down on the matchup here. The Steelers are better against the run than they are against the pass. On the road at Pittsburgh, I think this is a game where the Colts, maybe they'll be able to run the ball, but I think there'll be multiple running backs getting involved here. And I don't have a concern of them passing the balls here. So I have a concern about Marlon Mack finding the end zone this week. So he is a guy I am down on. Not saying I wouldn't play him, but he's not someone I would be rushing to start if you have better options on your bench.
Right. And I think I know who you're picking.
I will take the Colts as an upset here.
I figured it. As an upset, you think the Steelers, beating the Steelers
at home,
is an upset?
Yeah, I think this is an upset.
What's the Steelers' record?
Most games upset. Well, actually, you're right because the Steelers are limited at quarterback right now. I don't know the point spread right now, but for the home teams are normally given 3 points.
Right.
So this is probably an even pick'em game, but I'll take the Colts on the road.
All right. Jets at the Dolphins. If you're wondering who I'm high on, I did mention Sam Darnold in Pog's Box. I'm going to try to mention someone different, and that guy is Le'Veon Bell. Okay? Sources are saying, people are saying, that Le'Veon wants the rock. And let me tell you a little something. He hasn't been getting the rock.
Storytelling time?
Let me tell you a little something. He hasn't been getting the rock. I don't know if you've been paying attention down there or up there in New York, New Jersey. But Le'Veon
taking a shot at the Jets front office.
Oh, I'm taking a shot at Adam Gase because that bum is a terrible head coach. Le'Veon has not been getting the rock, and he was in these trade rumors, and people were saying, "Oh, he's gonna want out of town. He's gonna want, they're thinking about trading him already." Le'Veon's gonna get the rock. They're going up against the Dolphins, the worst team in the NFL, and Le'Veon Bell. See, a lot of people, some people are threatening to even bench him because of how inconsistent he's been. But this week, RB1 numbers, he's going to get the rock. I'm calling it 2 touchdowns for Le'Veon Bell this week against the Dolphins. Start Le'Veon Bell. Who am I down on? Every single Dolphins wide receiver. And the Jets defense.
Well, the Jets secondary isn't good.
It's not the best, but I mean,
actually, you don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick's slinging the ball there?
Fitzpatrick is slinging the ball.
He doesn't care if he throws 5 picks as long as he gets 480 yards passing.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. But here's my thing with the Dolphins wide receivers. They spread it out. They're spreading it out again amongst every wide receiver on that team. Devontae Parker. I can't name another receiver in Miami. That's how nameless they are. But they're all getting spread even catches and even targets amongst that team. So if you have any of them on your roster, I'm sorry. I apologize for
you apologize
for your roster because you must be in a bad state. You might as well have Rob Gronkowski on your team. I'm sorry, Miami. Anyways,
you're gonna be one of those bandwagon Miami fans when they get good in 2 years. You're gonna be like,
Tua.
Next year they're gonna. Young. They got this guy. They got.
Next year they'll be incredible to watch because they got like 15 picks, don't they?
They got like 47 picks in the first 2 rounds of next year.
Seems like it, dude. So don't start your Dolphins wide receivers. Don't trust them. Don't even have them on your roster. Just drop them. and I would start Le'Veon Bell. I'm going to take the Jets to win in this matchup.
All right, guy I am down on. I'll start with who I'm down on first. It's Kalen Ballage. Even with Kenny and Drake getting traded out there, Ballage last 3 weeks, 3 carries, 7 yards, and a touchdown. The other week, 3 carries, 7 yards, and a touchdown. I'm not making that up.
Right.
Those are actual real
Yeah.
back-to-back weeks. And then last week, 3 carries, 8 yards, no touchdown.
Right.
And 1 catch for 11 yards. I'm down on him because Mark Walton
Is the guy.
I'm not saying he's a great option, but he's
the number one guy.
He's the lead back. I don't want to
Right.
say number one because
Yeah.
I just don't think he's the number one guy. He's the main option at running back. Ballage is someone I'm down on this week. So yeah, go look for someone else there. Guy I'm high on this week, you just said it, Le'Veon Bell. That's too easy for me. I'll go a little deeper here.
Wow.
I'll
Hey,
go a
but I
little
talked
deeper.
about Sam
I'm going to
Darnold.
go with Sam Darnold here.
See, I talked about him on Pod Block, but you didn't listen, so.
Well, I'm 6-2, so I'm fine.
Oh, good grief.
Let's just get into Sam
Support your
Darnold real
friends.
quick. He is playing the Miami Dolphins. There you go.
All right, who you picking?
I will not take the Dolphins, so I'll take the Jets here.
All right, good.
If the
work.
Jets lose this game, I think Adam Gase is going to be on the hot seat. You can't lose at the Dolphins. That is.
Could you
embarrassing.
imagine if they lose to the Dolphins?
They lose to the Dolphins. The Jets may as well just
Forfeit the
Sam,
season.
They might as well tell Sam Darnold, you got mono again. Go sit on the
Go home,
sideline.
go home.
We need to lose the rest of the games. We need Chase Young on our defense. So
Oh, good. No, because now that I'm thinking about it, it actually has a chance of happening.
no, this is. I'm not.
Miami
saying,
covered.
I'm not, no, I'm not saying the Jets are a lock to win this game. I'm not comfortable. with
Miami
this pick
covered against
because
Seattle,
the
the Steelers.
Dolphins. This is a game where I just don't think the Jets are all that good, but I think the Dolphins are the worst team in football. But would it surprise me if Ryan Fitzpatrick went for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns
400.
and he was reminiscent of the past and he just looks like Aaron Rodgers out there throwing dimes? No. But yeah, I'm not confident in picking this game. I can't pick the Dolphins. Imagine picking the Dolphins to win a game. Getting into the next game,
Redskins
here.
at
Oh,
the
boy.
Bills. Another.
The only thing worse than watching the Redskins is watching the Dolphins.
I wish they just put Haskins in there. I know that coaching staff hates him, but I wish they just put him in and just throw him in the fire, especially against this Bills defense. Oh, Lord.
Especially against the Bills defense. You're talking about a good defense.
Yeah, I know. That's why. Yeah,
Who are you
Throw him
high
in the
on?
wild.
Who are you down on?
I am high on Devin Singletary. Now I know that he. What
Nothing.
is he? I know he's questionable every single week. Here's my thing with Devin Singletary. He hasn't done anything all year long, but the reason why I'm high on him to start or to do well this game, it's the Redskins, and I think this is going to be his first chance to really break out and to really find his way against that defense. Devin Singletary has not been I want to say he hasn't been efficient, and I think this is the first week where he really finds efficiency as Nick looks up stats to prove me wrong. And then who I'm down on? I'm down on Terry McLaurin. A lot of these, and similar to the Dolphins, the Redskins wide receivers are going to be getting similar targets. Terry McLaurin is probably going to be matched up against Tre'Davious White. I'm a big Tre'Davious White guy, in case you couldn't tell. I mentioned that guy basically every week. And McLaurin is not going to do well against him. He won't do well against any of these Bills defensive backs because the Bills defense is just that good.
Rapid fire.
Yes, and I'm so rapid fire. I'm taking the
Redskins.
I'm taking the table breaking, the dildo throwing team in Buffalo, the Bills.
All right. I'm high on this week, John Brown, wide receiver for the Bills. He, last 2 weeks, 11 targets, and last week he had 5 targets, 69 yards the 2 weeks ago, 75 this week. He's right around that. He's averaging around 70 yards a week here over the last 4 weeks. I just think he's the number one receiver in that offense. The Redskins secondary is not that great. Josh Norman is a shell of his previous self. So I'm going with John Brown here. I think he's a wide receiver 2 this week. Guy I am down on this week is Adrian Peterson. This game's in Buffalo. The Redskins are going to try to run the ball, but I just said try. for a reason because they're not going to be able to. I just don't think Adrian Peterson is the same guy he was even last year when he was able to be productive. The Bills have one of the 5 best defenses in football. This game's probably going to be nasty. The weather right now, at least where we're living in, is cold, damp, rain. So I'm expecting in Buffalo it's probably going to be pretty similar. Adrian Peterson has a fumbling history. I just don't like Adrian Peterson this week. You should look for another option there. And if you're playing Adrian Peterson, it's probably because of bye weeks this week for running backs.
Yeah, Darius Geis is set to come back in week 11, I believe. A lot of people are adding him. I think if you have your IR spot open, I think he's a good add.
I am taking the Bills here.
All
and
right,
it's
good
not
pick.
even like I just saw the Redskins and I took the other team.
Yep, that's how it goes.
All right, getting into the next game, Garrett, Titans at the Panthers.
All right, for the Panthers, I'm high on Kyle Allen. Now, it seems like I'm high on a lot of different these streaming quarterbacks. Kyle Allen has Christian McCaffrey on his team, and McCaffrey gets as many catches as he does carries. He's the really only untouchable guy in fantasy when it comes to talking trades. And so because of that, it does have an effect on Kyle Allen. 2 of his passing touchdowns, if he gets those, are probably going to be to McCaffrey because he gets those screen passes and he just goes. So Kyle Allen, Titans secondary pretty well. I think he'll probably end up throwing a pick just because I'm trying to think. Adoree Jackson or some these different
Logan
guys.
Ryan and Adoree Jackson.
Yeah, are gonna end up. They're good corners, and I think they'll be able to lock down Moore and Samuel on a play or two, more than a play or two. Who I'm down on. A lot of people are saying that you should pick up Ryan Tannehill off the waivers and play him this week.
You don't think it's a good stream this week?
It is not a good stream this week because the Carolina Panthers have been underrated.
They gave up 51 points to the 49ers. Right?
Now listen, that's the 49ers. That's the best team in the NFC right now.
Oh.
I'll just tell you that right now. That's the best team in the NFC.
Can we quote you on that?
You can quote me on that.
Okay, I'll take the field. You can have the Niners. I'll take the field.
The field?
Meaning like every other team in the NFC. Because you just got done saying they're the best team in the NFC.
Well, they're the best team. That doesn't mean there's
so you think there's no other team in the NFC that's better. I'll take the field. I don't think they come out the NFC.
Well, I don't know if they come out the NFC either. We got to see how it comes.
You made it sound like you so.
Well, they're the best team in the NFC right now.
So I'll quote you on that.
Well,
we'll see if they can go to Lambeau Field and beat Aaron Rodgers.
Well, if they have to go to Lambeau Field, they're not beating Aaron Rodgers.
They're not the best team in football in the NFC.
But if they have to go to San Francisco,
they play in San Francisco.
No, I'm talking the Packers. If the Packers go to San Francisco,
that's Aaron Rodgers' hometown.
Yeah, don't even. You're right, but don't even give me that. Niners, best team in football.
Who are you high on? Who are you down on?
I've already said I'm high on Kyle Allen. I am down on Ryan Tannehill. Do not stream him this week. Don't even pick him up this week. You can worry about him next week when he plays. I don't know, whoever. But Ryan Tannehill, he has made this team better. I will say that. Mariota, not a good quarterback. Probably doesn't get another starting gig in the league. I imagine. I mean, I don't know if they trade him or if they. I think his contract might be up this year, if not next. So I can't imagine he gets another starting gig, which is how he's kind of fumbled this Titans gig. So and Tannehill has made the team better. So just not this week. Panthers top 5 pass defense in football. Yes, they gave up a lot to the 49ers, but the 49ers are the best team in the NFC. I will take the Panthers to win this game.
All right, I'll start with the player I'm down on first. I am down on Corey Davis. Last week I tried streaming Davis, and this is one where you want it to work because the player is much better than the production, but it just doesn't work. Last week he had a good matchup and he had 2 receptions for 9 yards. The Titans involved Jonnu Smith, their tight end. They involved Adam Humphrey. They have everyone in there, and Corey Davis is just lost to me. Coming off a week where he had 6 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown, I was like, all right, there's something building here. He has a good matchup against Tampa Bay, and he was targeted 6 times, which is okay, but he had 2 catches, 9 yards. I can't trust Corey Davis. He is a no start for me. Guy I'm high on this week. I'm not really high on the Panthers receiving core, so I will give you a guy, I'll give you Greg Olsen here. With
Really?
the tight end field being the way it is, Greg Olsen this week against Tennessee. The Titans have a really well-rounded defense. I don't think Greg Olsen has a great week, but I'm not going to give you the obvious start of McCaffrey, which is just way too easy. So I'm going to go with Greg Olsen here. I think he is the second best option this week on the Panthers offense as far as not non-quarterback play. Pick here, I will take the Tennessee Titans on the road.
You're a big Titans guy. You've picked them a lot of these weeks.
I like the Carolina Panthers defense, but I think they're a little bit overrated.
Okay.
And I think the Titans, they can run the ball at Derrick Henry. They can control the clock. Kyle Allen showed limitations last week. And I think this is a tight game. And I just trust the Titans a little bit more than I trust the Panthers.
Another guy that's not being talked about a lot, Jonnu Smith. If he's on your waivers, go pick him up. He's been doing well in Delaney Walker's absence, and he's going to continue to do well until Walker comes back.
All right, Garrett, Vikings at the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, guy I'm high on, and this is going to seem like a stretch. I'm going to say Alexander Madison. I think he holds good flex appeal. This is a Chiefs game that's going to we know how to beat the Chiefs now. You got to run the ball. You got to control the clock. Dalvin Cook is not getting every single carry. He was the workhorse back, and then he tore his ACL. Now they're kind of, change of pace. They have
Dalvin Cook's eating right now.
He is eating, but you're still giving carries to Alexander Madison. Chiefs defense, the front seven on paper looks good. Hasn't really produced that well this season.
Just a quick note here: they are missing some guys on their defensive line. Frank Clark is banged up. He's their best pass rusher. I don't know if he'll play this week, but he did not play last week. And one of the most underrated defensive tackles in football, Christian Jones. He's a young, up-and-coming defensive tackle. He is like the key cog in that defense for Kansas City, and they are without him right now. So that is two players that are crucial to the Kansas City defense.
Yeah. And so Alexander Madison, he's going to get a good amount of carries. They are banged up, and they haven't been producing as well as what they should be. So I think Madison's going to end up getting a good amount of carries. If you're looking for a solid 7-8 points out of him, maybe a touchdown if he's lucky. Probably not, because Dalvin Cook's going to get that. That's where you're going to get out of Madison. And I think if that's what you're looking for this week, you just need a little extra boost. Or if you think you're going to win this week and you need to put someone in there, Madison's a good selection. For the Chiefs, I'm going to say I'm down on Travis Kelce. He hasn't been nearly as elite as what we've said. Now, I'm not saying sit Travis Kelce. That's, not don't sit Travis Kelce. But he hasn't been nearly as elite as what we've drafted him to be. A lot of people are taking him with first-round, second-round picks, and he just has not lived up to that potential yet. I think this is another week where it's the same. They kind of bracket him, and Travis Kelce just hasn't been holding up to his quote-unquote elite status. And honestly, same as Zach Ertz, but that's another topic. So Travis Kelce, don't sit him, but temper your expectations. I'm sure if you've had him on your roster, your expectations are tempered as is. So yeah, and I'm going to take the Chiefs. They've had pretty tough weeks recently, but I'm going to take the Chiefs. I think they bounce back, and I think they beat Kirk Cousins, who still stinks.
Guy I'm high on this week. I'll pull a Garrett here, and I will say a position group I'm high on this week. I'm high on the Vikings receiving core this week.
That's a good one.
Adam Thielen looks like he's going to play. Obviously, if he's healthy, you're starting him. Diggs has looked tremendous, and with Thielen out, this is a good matchup here. The Chiefs secondary is just brutal. Outside of Tyrann Mathieu, they don't have anything in that secondary that's worth anything in weight. So I'm taking the Vikings receiving core. And I'm not saying start their fifth receiver here, but I'm saying Diggs and Adam Thielen both, I think, are high-end wide receiver twos this week.
Yep.
And, the guy...
Maybe wide receiver one.
Well, yeah, they could sneak in the top 12. One of them could. I don't think they both get in the top 12. But guy I'm down on this week is going to be LaShawn McCoy. I'm down on him this week because last week he has fumbling issues. Last week he carries the ball, like they mentioned on the broadcast. He doesn't protect the ball. He has that ball out there, and in today's NFL, defenders are taught how to just go for the ball, not just go for the tackle. You know what I mean? He has fumbling issues.
Agreed.
You've seen what happened in the third quarter when he fumbled. He was in Andy Reid's doghouse. He didn't see the field the rest of the game. I'm not like I'm super stoked on Damian Williams. The report was they tried to trade him at the deadline. But I'm just saying, I think Damian Williams, Darwin Thompson, Darrell Williams, I think those are the running backs here this week. McCoy might get a couple of carries, but he's in the doghouse. Not a great matchup against the Vikings. If Mahomes plays, I think they go back to being a gunslinging offense. So I'm going to go down on him. Pick here. I don't care what you say here, but if Mahomes plays, I'm taking the Chiefs. If Mahomes doesn't play, I'm taking the Vikings. It's not like I'm saying, if Devontae Adams plays or doesn't play. I'm talking about the top 3 quarterback in football compared to
Maybe
Matt
the
Moore.
top 1.
Compared to Matt Moore, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying it on the podcast right now. If Patrick Mahomes plays, I'm taking the Chiefs. If he does not play, I am taking the Vikings.
You have to pick one team.
No. That's my caveat.
All right, well, you said the Chiefs first, so I'm going to put you down for the Chiefs. This is not, listen.
No, I'm saying it on the podcast right now. You can hear me. We're allowed one
give me, no, you're taking the Chiefs.
one pick a week. No, Garrett, listen.
All right.
There's 15 games. One game a week, you're allowed to have a special circumstance. And my special
one game a season.
No, one game a week.
Oh goodness, no, we're not doing this.
No, one game a week.
No, because listen, guys, he tries to pull this every single week on me. We didn't have podcast
but
2 weeks, so he keeps texting me.
But to me,
oh well, if such and such plays.
No,
you know how this goes. You pick one team. You just got to go all in on one team. And out of 15 games, that's even more reason to just be like, oh well, I'll just take a shot this game because. If I have 15, I have 14 other picks I'm confident on.
But
or
for me,
13
making the pick, it's so obvious that if Mahomes plays, they will win. If he does not play, they will lose this game. There's no way if Mahomes misses this game, they're going to win. The Vikings are significantly better on defense than the Packers are.
I know, and you can argue every point you want. So you said the Packers.
I'm going to hold my word holds. I'm going to say if Mahomes plays, they win. If he doesn't play, the Vikings.
Nick has been put down for the Chiefs, just so my word also holds. Do
you not agree that there's a significant difference if Mahomes plays?
There is
or
a
he
significant difference, which is why you got to take a shot.
Okay, you know what? Time out. I will make my Kansas City Chiefs and the Chiefs versus Vikings pick at 12:59 on Sunday. So I will text you, Garrett.
No,
on 12.
we're not.
Yes.
No, we're not doing this.
I need to know the full injury report.
Do you think he plays?
I don't know if he plays. That's why I'm.
See, this is what he's
no,
been doing.
Listen.
You guys are getting an inside look.
I can hold my pick until I can hold my pick until the game starts. Yeah.
Good grief.
We're making the pick on the midweek. I need to be able to make my pick.
Next pick is down for the Chiefs. We're just gonna get into the next game. I'm not arguing about this. You can say what you want, and you can say, "Oh, my word holds." We're not arguing about this. I think Mahomes plays. That's why I'm picking the Chiefs.
I can't guarantee he plays. He's coming off a significant leg injury.
It is pretty significant, but
knee injury.
Yeah, but he's been healing pretty well, so I think he plays. And even if he doesn't play, Matt Moore is better than Kirk Cousins. You think I'm wrong?
Yeah. I mean, Kirk Cousins has been thrown under the bus. He's actually responded to the criticism the last 4 or 5 weeks
against the Giants.
He went to Detroit, tore up Detroit's secondary.
Terrible secondary.
I'm not saying I'm high on Cousins, but he's significantly better than.
Okay, let's move on to the next game.
Defense. The Lions at the Raiders.
Yes.
I'll make this easy. I'll go first because I am down on the Lions this year.
Really?
Don't even get me on the Lions. My Lions fandom is slowly going out the window. Like, you're driving down the road and that window, automatic window, you know how it just goes down automatically?
Yeah.
Well, my window is going down like, and then you know how the breeze picks up as the window goes down?
Yeah.
And then your things in your car start flying around, like the light, you have papers flying around. Well, my Lions card is fumbling around in the dashboard right now, and it's almost out the window. And don't even get me started there. I'm dead serious. All right. Let me get focused on the picks here. The guys I'm high on this week, I'm high on Kenny Galladay. To me, he has established himself as a very good receiver in the league.
Yeah.
Marvin Jones is involved. Danny Amendola gets 7-8 targets a game, but Stafford looks to Kenny Galladay, especially in the red zone. He's a deep threat as well. Galladay's established himself. He is a very good option this week. The Raiders traded away Garrett Conley a couple weeks ago to the Texans. They don't really have anything in the secondary.
I didn't know that. Keep going.
Keep going. The Raider defense is nothing to write home about. So
I agree.
I mean, Galladay's going to have a good week this week.
Yep.
The guy I'm down on this week will be the Lions' entire running back core. I'm going to take a position group here. I don't like any of the Lions running backs. Ty Johnson I don't love. I think what's happening is they got exposed. Kerryon Johnson got hurt. People wanted to believe that Ty Johnson could be a valuable guy, but he showed what he is. He's a guy that needs 5 touches a game, not 10 touches a game. He's a role player. I don't see any special player in the backfield for the Lions. I think they're all role players. And there's a reason why Trey Carson was on waivers and the Lions picked him up, because he couldn't make it on the Packers. And he's a journeyman. I'm just spitting the truth.
I know you are.
So my guy I'm high on this week is Kenny Galladay. Guy I'm down on this week is the Lions running back core.
I know who you're picking.
I am taking the Lions on the road. And this isn't but Garrett.
My fandom's going out the window. I'll take him to win.
No, but this is because it's the Raiders, is what I'm saying.
I know. And I'm taking the Lions.
And
as well.
this is typical Lions. They will lose. They'll win these games. They'll get the Lions fans' hopes up. Oh my goodness, we're look at our team. Stafford threw for 357 and 3 scored. Let's go.
That's my player.
This is why my Lions fandom's going out the window. But anyways, I will take the Lions, even though I won't be rooting for them this week.
I'll also take the Lions. I'm also I'm high on Matthew Stafford. This Raiders defense is bad, just as you described. I didn't realize they traded Garrett Conley, but that makes the situation worse for them. What is Jay Gruden doing with that defense?
Mr. John Gruden.
Oh, it is John Gruden. I said Jay Gruden, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, I bet you Jay Gruden wish he was in Oakland, not coach. Or he's not in Washington. I caught myself there.
He's not in Washington.
Yeah, I forgot. He got fired.
Yeah, he's sitting on the couch now.
He's eating Lay's potato chips.
As we speak. All right.
Playing Fortnite.
You think he's a Fortnite guy?
Yeah, he looks like one.
I think he's a Modern Warfare. He looks like someone who plays Modern Warfare.
Could you imagine, 41-year-old, or however old he is? He's probably mid-40s.
Could you imagine playing
he's
against...
probably 50.
Could you imagine playing against
No, but Jay Gruden likes headsets,
Yeah.
So he's playing Call of Duty. He's got his headset in, and he's screaming at his teammates.
You think every NFL coach likes
And he's
headsets?
like, hey, Spider Y Banana. They're like, what are you talking about?
That's a John Gruden call. That's
he's got the Redskins playbook out, and he's trying to get play calls, and they're like,
oh my goodness.
this isn't Madden. Oh, can you imagine him playing Madden with the Redskins? Or playing against them? He's like the Cowboys, and it's like 88-0 in the fourth quarter, and he's going for 2. He's like, yeah, get it, Redskins.
Get it, Dwayne Haskins.
You fired me.
Oh goodness.
All right, we got to
Where
move on with
yeah,
these picks.
where do we go?
So you got to make who you're high on, who you're down on. We are on.
We're still on the Lions Raiders because I accidentally said Jay Gruden instead of John Gruden.
Okay, who are you high on?
I'm high on Stafford. I want to say this. I'm gonna put a stock watch out there. We're gonna throw out a stock watch for the Lions running back core. And now I know Nick's down on them, and they're not. Yeah, they're all role players. They're not anything special. But this is a bad Raiders team, and this is a team that can't even stop the run. They've allowed probably every team to run on them, all over them, like it's like Hulkamania running wild all on you. So if Ty Johnson and J.D. McKissic, if one of them just can't break out from the pack in this game, that really shows you what this is. And I think this is going to be the game where they really find out what they got. They needed to trade for a veteran running back.
If you had to pick one out of the 3, Ty Johnson, J.D. McKissic, or Trey Carson, which one would you throw the dart on? Because
McKissic.
Okay, because you're saying one out of the 3. Well, if I'm just
right.
Joe Random, and I'm trying to start one of these guys.
Well, I hope you don't have more than one of these on your roster. I'll just tell you that.
But what I'm saying is I'm throwing a dart. Which you said you think J.D. McKissic is the dart you would aim at.
He's the most talented out of this group, I think. Ty Johnson's done well with the limited carries he has, but he's had limited carries, so you're really not getting a huge sample size out of him. Yeah, and McKissic, just the way he moves in the backfield and the way he's able to catch the ball, I think he gets the ball out of the wheel, the wheel.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the wheel around, but he catches
He
it better
catches
than
the
Ty.
ball at the backfield.
Yeah, he catches it better than Ty
Effectively.
Johnson does. So there's that.
And
That's my stock watch.
You're taking the Lions this week.
Who I'm down on, I'm gonna say I'm down on Darren Waller, and Darren Waller has been one of the better tight ends this year, and the reason why is the Lions really try to bracket these tight ends, and with the exception of Evan Ingram last week, who really did all right.
Kelsey had a good game against the Lions.
Kelsey did all right, but he wasn't special, was he? Did he get a touchdown?
I mean, I can't remember what his stats was 6 weeks ago, but I'm just saying.
I agree.
He was effective against the Lions. You're talking about Darren Waller. You're down on. I just personally, the Lions. Jared Davis can't cover a fly. I'm dead serious. Jelani Tavai. Are you okay over
Nick just
there?
took me out with that comment. Poor Jared Davis, he didn't deserve that.
Well, I'm not saying Davis can't play. I'm just saying for coverage responsibilities, the Lions are very mediocre, and
Can't cover a fly.
Darren Waller has been very good this year.
He's been great.
I don't see any reason why he doesn't play well this week. Especially
The Lions' defense,
especially
they're one of their.
if Slay plays this week and Slay gets matched up against Terrell Williams, I think Darren Waller just gets it. I think personally it's going to be the Josh Jacobs show, and then on the passing game, I think Waller is the lead option this week for the Raiders. They're going to make the mismatch happen.
Okay. The Lions defense, one of their big things is to bracket tight ends that are play really well. They did it to Zach Ertz. They did it to Kelsey, Evan Ingram, etc. So I think they do it again this week. And whether they're successful at it or not, we'll have to see. But I think I'd imagine that's going to be their top priority to get them in the passing game.
All right, moving on to the next game, Garrett. The Buccaneers
At the
Seahawks. I will go first here. Guy I'm high on here is Russell Wilson. It's pretty easy, but I think Russell Wilson could be the quarterback number one this week in fantasy. It's at home in Seattle. The Buccaneers defense is basically like the Titanic, is what I'm saying. You know, they started off the season. You know, they left port. They were good, right? No, this is a good analogy. They left the port.
I'm hearing you out.
The Titanic was so beautiful. It looked amazing, right? This elegant ship. They left port. And then they hit that iceberg. You got to stop laughing so I can finish this. They hit the iceberg. And then everything fell apart. The ship broke in half. And it sank to the bottom of the ocean. Time out.
in Raymond James Stadium.
Time out. Time out. But this is what? The Buccaneers. Remember they held McCaffrey and they're like, oh man, McCaffrey struggled.
They're really not that bad.
And the Buccaneers looked pretty solid to begin the year on defense. And meanwhile, Garrett's wiping away tears. The Buccaneers look pretty solid on defense. And fast forward to present day, their defense, you know, they're at the bottom of the ocean, is what I'm saying.
Oh,
and Russell Wilson is, I think he has a chance to be the number one overall quarterback this week in fantasy. So he's the guy I'm high on. I got to recover here. The guy I am down on this week is going to be Ronald Jones for Tampa Bay. I think Jameis Winston's going to be able to throw the ball here. The Seahawks are better against the run than they are against the pass. I could see Mike Evans and Godwin both having good games here. You know, whether the tight end gets involved is a question mark, but the guy I can feel confident benching this week is Ronald Jones. All right, Garrett, your turn.
Who are you picking first?
I'm taking Seattle at home.
Yeah,
better head coach, better quarterback, better roster.
Yeah.
So, you know, 1, 2, 3.
Better organization.
The only thing Tampa has better is better receivers. That's it.
Yeah.
So I got 3 out of the 4 that I'm high on.
I'm gonna say I'm high on DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett is also someone I'm high on, but everyone's gonna start him. DK Metcalf, I would start him in your flex, if not wide receiver 2, because he is that good. He did great against who they play last week. I forgot who they played, but last week he had a pretty good matchup and he showed up there. I can't imagine why he wouldn't show up well in this matchup as well. So that's who I'm high on. And really any of the Seahawks receivers. I mean, unless you're starting like the 5th string guy, you know, from Notre Dame, right?
Who are you down on this week?
I am down on Chris Carson. Buccaneers still have the top rushing defense in the league. I know you just went on that rant about how they're the Titanic and they're
terrible.
They're done.
They're terrible on defense.
They're not terrible.
I don't care what the numbers say. They are brutal on defense. Don't get it twisted. They are not going to be able to stop Seattle's offense. Chris Carson's going to run all over them, and Russell Wilson's Russell Wilson.
Chris Carson won't get a touchdown on him.
I mean, he may have 170 yards rushing though.
I'll put it to you like this. I think Russell Wilson has more running yards than Chris Carson does.
Really? You realize Carson's getting 20 carries a game.
And he's going to get 20 of them here.
So he's going to rush 20 times for 30 yards, and Russell Wilson's going to run one time for 57 yards. I mean, I'll take 20 carries over 3 any day.
Chris Carson's not going to do well against this team.
Do you need me to pull up? Okay, I'm done.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number one rushing defense in the league. Take that to the bank.
I mean, what bank? They won't accept that check.
That's a good one.
Okay, hold on. All right, I'm just baffled.
And you know,
because I have Carson.
And just to spite you, I'm taking the Buccaneers to win the game.
Okay,
I'm taking the Bucs.
Let's go back to week 4, Garrett. This is week 4. Okay. Game log: 22 carries, 104 yards, 4 catches, 41 yards in that game. All right, that's a very good week. Week 5: 27 rush attempts, 118 yards. He had 1 catch for 5 yards and a touchdown. Next week, 24 carries. You see a pattern here. 24 carries.
Did they play the Buccaneers in any
124 yards rushing and a score. 4 catches, 35 yards. Next week, 21 carries, 65 yards.
He tells me how he wants to shorten the length
3
of the
catches,
podcast
9
just by
yards.
talking about one player.
20 carries.
It can't happen when he just
90
brings up all
yards and a
these stats
touchdown.
that are pretty meaningless to the point. Buccaneers number one.
But did you see the pattern?
Chris Carson's a great running back. I agree with that.
He's averaging 25 carries a game.
He's going to get RB2 flex level numbers against the Buccaneers. And
I can't wait because I have him on my team this week. I can't wait till Garrett sees.
You do have him? Yeah,
I can't wait till Garrett's like, oh.
Number one rushing defense in the league. I'm down on Carson.
Okay, when we're playing each other this week, when you're looking at my team and it's like +6, you're
+6.
Man, I shouldn't have poked the devil.
Next game we're gonna get into. Also, I'm picking the Buccaneers just to
the Browns at the
Broncos.
Oh, you want to talk about a boring game? It looks like Joe Flacco's out 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
To get into this guy, I'm high on Nick Chubb. He's gonna eat this week. Like literally, he's gonna be like Zeke. He's gonna be eating his bowl of cereal.
Right.
Nick Chubb is gonna have a top 5 week this week as a running back. If people say that's a safe option, I will go with another option. I think Jarvis Landry.
Really? Okay.
Well, I mean, obvious pick is Nick Chubb, right? So I'll go a little bit deeper here. Jarvis Landry. I think Chris Harris will be matched up a little bit on Odell. I think they will double Odell because he's obviously a premier weapon. I think Landry will have a solid game this week. He is a good flex option. Guy I'm down on this week is going to be Philip Lindsay.
Really?
You said that. I mean, you said. Royce Freeman's involved in that offense. They get about 50-50 split on the touches.
Okay.
I just can't trust Philip Lindsay this week. The Browns have a good defense. Quarterback situation for the Broncos just got worse. So I am down on Philip Lindsay.
I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm high on both Freeman and Lindsay. Because of that quarterback situation, they're going to lean on the run a little bit more. And whichever one you have on your roster, I mean, they're pretty, like I said, they're getting even splits. And Freeman did well against the Colts. The Browns defense is kind of at the same level. I imagine they both do well this week. That's who I'm high on. Who I'm low on is Courtland Sutton. He is a guy that, looked like his value was just about to rise up. They trade Sanders out of town. So, Sutton, easily becomes the number one guy. High trade value across the board. You really couldn't pick him up because we're ready to see him explode. Yeah. So, this Flacco injury really hurts him. And he's out 4 to 6 weeks. So maybe Sutton will be, ready to go. Not ready to go, but he'll be a lot better by playoff time. And Brandon Allen, I mean, I don't mean to hate on the guy, but I can't imagine they've made bad quarterbacks work in Denver. I can't imagine Brandon Allen works. So I'm down on Courtland Sutton.
I don't know about making bad quarterbacks work.
Peyton Manning was terrible the Super Bowl year.
That's because their defense, they had Von Miller coming off the back end, and he was just eating people. moving on to the next game, Garrett.
Also, I'm taking the Browns to win the game.
oh
You
yeah,
taking the
I'm
Browns?
taking the Browns here.
Okay.
Next game, we got the Packers at the Chargers. This will be actually one of the better games of the week, in
I
my
think so
opinion.
too. Yeah.
I like that it's a 4:25 game, so you can watch it, and you're not caught up in the 1 o'clock games here. Guy I'm high on this week, and don't at me. I don't care what anyone says. I'm high on Aaron Jones, and I mean that's pretty safe because Aaron Jones is a running back one. But what I'm saying, I'm high on Aaron Jones is he's just looked so phenomenal. Not in the passing game, I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's getting 7 targets a game in the
See
passing
that
game.
catch he had against the?
I mean, he should have had 2
Chiefs?
long
Yeah.
touchdowns. He had 1 called back because he stepped out of bounds.
Right.
Wake up, Aaron Jones! Stop touching the out of bounds marker. He only got me like 47 points last week. But what I'm saying, I'm high on Aaron Jones because I just think he's so heavily involved in the passing game that there's such a high floor here for him.
Yeah.
Jamal. If you told me Jamal Williams had 2 scores going into the game against Kansas City, I would have been like, what happened to Aaron Jones, right? Well, what happened to Aaron Jones is he had 220 total yards and 2 touchdowns. So I think what you're seeing here is with Devontae Adams out, the Packers are just going through Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones. And I think even if Devontae Adams comes back, I think that affects Jamal Williams more than that affects Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones is a guy I see on these sell high lists every single week, and it's literally every single week. But he just shows up and he shows out.
Where I'm concerned is against Kansas City, they were on like the 2-yard line, and they had both Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams in the game. But they had Aaron Jones lined up in the slot, and they had Aaron. I mean, put it this way: if the roles were reversed, Aaron Jones would have had that rushing touchdown. But they just handed the ball to Jamal Williams. He had the easiest 2-yard rushing touchdown he's ever had in his career.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm concerned is, they like Jamal Williams. Part of it goes into like, let's get everyone involved, right? So I think Jamal Williams has a chance to vulture a touchdown if they get in the goal line, but I just don't see Jamal Williams, getting 15 carries and 8 targets on the backfield. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a chance he can vulture one, but I'm high on Aaron Jones. Guy I'm down on this week is going to be it's going to be Jimmy Graham here.
Yeah.
He's been
Still
inconsistent this year. If Devontae Adams comes back, then that hurts Jimmy Graham even more, right? Because Devontae Adams is a special player. He's a guy that needs 10 targets a game, right? So I would say Jimmy Graham, he's very touchdown dependent. He is the guy I'm down on this week. If he gets you a touchdown, fine, but I just don't see him getting a touchdown.
You picking the Packers?
I am taking the Packers on the road.
Okay. I'm also down on Jimmy Graham. Same reason. He hasn't been what people thought he was going to be. People were looking at him to be, top 4, top 5 tight end. Just hasn't been that. And, not a guy you can consistently rely on every week. If he's your only tight end, throw him in, But, just temper your expectations with what you're expecting him to be, what you're expecting him to do. Who I'm high on, I was actually going to say Jamal Williams is the guy I'm high on.
Really?
He's a guy that, because even if Devontae Adams comes back, it's still a 2 running back offense. They still like to utilize.
So
them
what you're
both.
saying is you think even though Aaron Jones will get the majority of the touches, you still think Williams will get involved enough to be a flex option?
Yeah, he's going to be involved. Yeah, and the Chargers defense, on paper, it looks amazing. Nothing to write home about on the field. So I like Jamal Williams as a flex. He's played well, every single week that since he's been like one of those priority waiver ads. So I like Jamal Williams to do well this week. Go Pack, go! I'm picking a Pack.
Garrett's a big Packer fan.
No,
Moving on to the next game, Garrett. This is gonna be a great game in my opinion. Probably the best game of the week, just for my opinion, is the Sunday night game. Patriots. I was about to say Patriots.
Patriots.
The Patriots at the Ravens. This game's going to be very fun in my opinion. Guy I'm high on this week is going to be Sony Michel. I just think the Patriots, this is a Patriots' first real test of the year. They've had a very favorable schedule. The Browns, we thought they would give a little bit more fight, but that's not a tough matchup in New England. But they're on the road. It's in Baltimore. Tom Brady's historically struggled in Baltimore. I'm not saying, he's going to go 4 interceptions. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is this year, the Patriots, what they're doing is they're trying to preserve Tom Brady here. They're going to throw the ball 20, 25 times a game, kind of what Seattle does, but they're going to pound the rock. And they got a great defense. Their defense is scoring touchdowns, not just getting turnovers. They're scoring touchdowns.
Their defense has more touchdowns than Juju and Keenan Allen.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So I'm high on Michelle here. I think he's obviously the back to own in that backfield. You can have James White in PPR, and other guys can get involved, but Sony Michelle is going to have a good week this week. Yeah. The Ravens, a little bit overrated on defense.
Really?
A little bit overrated.
Okay.
What I mean is I think the Patriots will be able to run the ball this week. So obviously there's no Josh Gordon anymore. I'm just high. I think Sony Michelle here is in for a good week is what I'm saying. Guy I'm down on this week is going to be Lamar Jackson. And I'm not saying you can't play him, right? But people are going to play him and expect 30 fantasy points, what he's been doing this year. But I think he's a low-end quarterback one, meaning he's going to be in that 10 to 14 range for quarterbacks. Bill Belichick is a mastermind on defense. Their defense is very good. Whether they're the best defense we've seen in a couple years or not, that's debatable. But as of right now, their defense is playing at a high level. Lamar Jackson is going to try to run the... I like Lamar Jackson, but I don't like him in this game. I agree. Saying. If there's better options, I'm playing them. Lamar Jackson to me is in that 10 to 14 range this week for quarterbacks. So would I be surprised if he blew up? No, but I don't think he's going to have a great week this week. I think people will be disappointed in his production this week.
You stole both mine, so I'll just steal one of yours and pick someone different. This game's going to go one of two ways. I'm going to tell you what way I don't think it goes, and I'll tell you which way I do think it goes. First, it's either going to be this is a really close game, and the Ravens come out on top. And it's going to be down to the wire, and the Ravens are going to have the last drive, and they're going to be the ones to kick the field goal to win the game. Or the Patriots are going to smash this team to the ground. I don't see a way where if the Ravens keep this close, they lose the game, because I think they're the team who has handled clutch time pretty appropriately. The Patriots haven't had to use clutch time. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the video where Bill Belichick was trolling the Jets coach in the fourth quarter of that 33-0 blowout. But
yeah, how do you think Adam Gase felt? He's a very Adam Gase has a high ego. I'm not going to get into talk 10 minutes about Adam Gase, but he is a smart guy. He knows football, but he wishes he was Bill Belichick is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He wishes he was a mastermind, and he's struggling. So,
yeah,
moving on. Yeah. Get back to what you're saying.
So, I want to see the Ravens win this game. I think the Patriots are going to smash this team to the ground. Guy I'm down on, I'll copy Nick's. Lamar Jackson. I did talk about it in Pog's Block, but this is
not a great matchup.
Not a great matchup at all.
The thing I like about Jackson, though, is he has a rushing floor. So even if he goes for 200 yards passing and has one touchdown and 2 picks, he could still have 70 yards rushing, and that'll get you. So I'm still okay. I'm still starting him. If you have him and then you have a Baker Mayfield, I'm still playing Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
I guess instead of saying down on it, this is more temper my expectations.
I agree. And I would still start him, too.
And I'm taking the Patriots, Garrett. You're taking the Patriots as well?
Yep, let me talk about who I'm high on. And I was going to say Sony Michel, but I want to give people a little bit of diversity. We're going to say Philip Dorsett. I think he's a guy who, if you own him...
You sound like Chris Collinsworth. Here's a guy. Here's a guy.
He does say that.
Yeah, here's a guy. Here's a guy who paid $12 for a tryout, and look at him over here. Here's a guy. Hey, Al, here's a guy.
That sounds...
You know what you should do if you're listening to this right now? Type in I was about to say Colin Cowherd. Type in Chris Collinsworth, and I guarantee the first thing that comes up on YouTube, here's a guy. Oh, he's like a compilation of him saying, here's a guy. Now Aaron Rodgers, here's a guy. He knows how to throw the ball.
Back to what I was saying. Philip Dorsett, you really haven't started him a whole lot if you own him. I think this is going to be a good matchup, flex-wise. Yeah. And the Ravens kind of play more, I think they play more man-to-man than they do zone. But those opportunities when they're in the zone defense, I think Dorsett's going to find his way in there and, get a lot of yards. He might not get a touchdown this game just because you never know with Tom Brady.
Better in PPR than in standard, just because of the receptions.
Yeah, and you never know. Tom Brady's going to throw a touchdown to the third-string tight end just because he's open. Brady don't care. So
that's a good quote.
Brady don't. That is a good quote. I'm taking the Patriots in this one. Ravens fans, I want to see you win, but
Well, yeah, I think the whole nation's rooting for Baltimore, but I mean,
whole- yeah.
I'm making these picks on who I'm trying to be most accurate as
Yeah.
possible, so I'm taking the Patriots.
yeah, so am I.
But
with
it is
exception
their
to the
first
Bucs
real
pick.
test of the year. I think, at night, that it's hard to play in Baltimore, and Tom Brady's historically struggled in Baltimore. I don't think people realize, but in the playoffs, he's been outdueled by Joe Flacco. So, and partially it's because Baltimore's always got a tough defense. But,
Yeah,
And moving on
but
to
I
the
think
next.
this is a team that I think the Patriots smash them next game.
Okay,
All
next game, Monday Night Football. The Cowboys at the Giants. Do we really have to watch the Giants on national TV again?
These Monday night games are some of the. I mean, the Lions Packers game might have been the only good game we've had so far.
No, the Texans and Saints was pretty good on first week of Monday Night Football.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot.
Well, you
about
are
that
right. Like, I feel bad for ESPN. Like, they get the NBA, they get good games in the NBA, but they don't get any good football games. Like,
Yeah.
like ESPN, when they go, they're like, okay, we got Monday Night Football this week, right? Awesome. Oh shoot, it's the Miami Dolphins.
Against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Like, no, but the Steelers draw fans because it's Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
And
but the
and then you got fans everywhere for Pittsburgh, but the Dolphins, that just turns people off for watching the game.
Well, they covered the spread.
But what I'm saying is, even like
Yeah.
Fox is getting national TV games.
Even
like
CBS.
the Redskins on Thursday Night Football at the Vikings. Like,
Yeah.
that
These
doesn't make me want to like.
NBC's
glue my
getting the
eyes
best
to the
out of
TV.
this
Yeah,
here.
NBC always gets the good games here. But let's get into the game. So the Cowboys at the Giants. The easy pick here would say you're high on Elliott, so I'll be a little bit more creative here. I'm high on Michael Gallup. You have Michael Gallup.
Yeah.
And a weird story here, and this could come back to bite me. I owned Michael Gallup. In
Now,
our
see,
league.
I didn't want to bring this up, but okay. You
But-
want to
but-
bring it up?
I owned Michael Gallup, and I ended up dropping him.
Cutting him.
Yeah, I cutted him because he couldn't make my team so good.
Right. Now let's hear the real story.
Okay.
Let's hear what really
No,
happened.
my team's so deep. I actually had to cut Michael Gallup because my wide receivers are so deep.
Well, who did you add? Who'd you add?
I had a DJ Shark, which
No,
is
you
pretty
didn't.
good. Yeah, I did. I mean, do I have to go back 3 weeks to the transactions? I mean, just take my word for it.
It's like 1 week.
I'm just saying. I dropped him and Garrett picked him up. This could come back to bite me. Okay. I think Gallup's in for a great week this week.
is in for a
Obviously,
great week.
Cooper's
You
the
stole
number
mine.
one there, and Cooper's gonna lead the whatever. It's gonna be Elliott's gonna have a great week. Cooper's gonna be the number one receiving option, but I think the Giants are so pathetic on defense that Michael Gallup is gonna have a good week this week. To me, he is one of the better flex options in this week. He's probably a top 3 flex option all of football. Gallup is someone that I would be running to start at my flex option. You can quote me on that for this week. And I don't love it because I'm playing against him. Well,
Yeah.
that depends on if you play him or not, which you probably will because I just told you to play him.
He's already in my starting lineup. What are you talking
Guy
about?
I'm down on this week is going to be Daniel Jones.
Okay.
The Cowboys, they're not great on defense, but they are good. However you take that, they're like a B defense, and they're on
Great,
A
yeah,
defense.
good, not great, yeah.
They got very good linebacker core. Vander
Wait,
Esch
yeah, Vander
and Jalen Smith, they can run. They got a
Notre Dame
decent
product.
pass rush. They added Michael Bennett. The Cowboys are good on defense. It's Monday Night Football. I think the Cowboys go into New York and just,
Now the Giants.
I think hey, it's Halloween. So I'll make another analogy. What's going to happen is the Cowboys are going to go to New York and they're going to, when it says take one, like when people leave candy at the door and it says,
Yeah.
please take one. They're going to be that big kid that walks up there and, takes them a little while to get to the door. But he's going to get his bag, his pillowcase, and he's going to dump the whole bag in it. He's going to dump the whole entire box in his bag. That's what's going to happen. The Cowboys are going to go to New York and they're just going to,
That is what Jerry Jones
they're
did,
going to steal
yeah.
all the Giants' candy. You like that analogy, right?
I do.
The Cowboys, I'm picking the Cowboys. They are going. This is another game where, by halftime the game will be over.
I think what the only real interesting thing about this game is Cowboys Giants have historically been close games, and the Giants just acquired Leonard Williams in a trade.
Oh, that's a snooze fest.
You think so?
There's a reason why they got rid of Leonard Williams. I mean, he's good, but he's not what people thought he was. He was
That's a good
drafted
point.
in the top 5 picks. In college, Mel Kiper. My name's Mel Kiper. Everyone was high on him. but he has not lived up to the hype.
And I remember, I think he got picked 6.
He
and
was
everyone was
traded.
like, he wasn't a top 5 pick, and
Well, he was
now-
a top 10 pick. But what I'm saying, he was traded for a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick.
Right.
He was traded. They traded him for.
I'm just interested to see. I always like seeing
He's
how,
okay, but he's not. He wants to get paid, and so the Jets were like, oh, you want to get paid? Get out of here.
I always just think like players in new environments. I'm always curious to see, and especially in the NFL where it's a very owner friendly league. Not many players move. I'm just curious to see what how he
That
looks.
was weird. That
how he looks
the
in,
New York teams making trade together. That's like,
Yeah, no, he moved from
that
one side of the locker room to the
normally
other.
happen. Like that's like the Lakers and the Clippers trade. Like it doesn't happen where 2 teams in the same city trade. Like,
Not too often.
The Yankees and the Mets never trade. Like I remember this year the Mets were going to trade a really good pitcher, and the Yankees offered them like ton of good players. And they said no, because can you imagine like trading your player to the other team and your fan base having to watch him dominate in the same city? So moving on.
Yeah. Guy I'm high on this week. He stole mine with Gallup, so I'm going to say the Cowboys defense.
Well, you can say Gallup. We can have the same guy we're high on. That just means
Right.
we're
I just want to
double
give
high
people
on him.
more diversity in the picks. You know what I mean? So we're going to say the
Jason
Cowboys
Witten?
defense.
Oh, Cowboys defense.
Cowboys defense.
Who I'm playing this week against you?
Ooh. I think
Maybe not. Maybe you're not high on the Cowboys defense anymore.
I am high on the Cowboys defense. They're
I
going to
bet
play
you
well.
if you listen back to this podcast, Garrett's high on every single one of my players.
No, I'm low on Chris Carson. Anyways,
I
Cowboys
can't wait for that. If you're listening to this podcast, I'm gonna text Garrett every time Chris Carson gets a touchdown.
every time. Well,
Not every touchdown, but every time Chris Carson has just his points keep going up, I'm gonna be like, oh, Chris Carson sucks. That's exactly what I'm gonna text.
I'm not saying he sucks.
I'm gonna text that.
Tampa Bay's the number 1 rushing defense.
Oh no, that's what I'm gonna text. I'm gonna say TB, capital TB for easy, shortening Tampa Bay, which you would see. I'm gonna say TB number.
We're never going to
number
shorten this
one
podcast.
defense.
This is never going to be a short podcast.
But I'm gonna text that TB number 1 defense.
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. I won't even put a period. I'll just leave that. I can't wait for Sunday.
Oh, all right. Cowboys defense.
I don't even care if I lose. If Chris Carson goes for 50, I will just be so happy.
Giants offense not too good. I like the Cowboys defense. I imagine they're owned in most leagues as is, but this is another week to own them or to really use them. If you first, okay, I gotta go on a rant for a second.
What analogy are you saying here?
No
Are the
analogies.
Cowboys
I'm just gonna get
defense,
straight to the point. If you have 2 defenses on your team, what are you doing? All right.
What do you mean? What are you doing?
Why do you have 2 defenses?
I think it's smart if
Unless you have the Bears.
Listen,
That's all you. That's the only exception.
let me change your mind, okay?
All right.
So, right now we're getting ready for playoffs, right?
Yep.
Or I mean, at least I am.
So am I, buddy.
Okay, playoffs are week 14, 15, 16.
Yep.
In fantasy.
Okay.
Right now we're getting to the point where defense can make a difference. Look at the steel. Look at the Patriots defense, right?
Okay.
They're like wide receiver, running back ones.
Yeah.
So, right now, if you're locked to make the playoffs and you can waste a roster spot because you have a good enough starting lineup, I will use a roster spot on a defense that has a good week 14, 15, whatever it is. If I can shore up a team that'll have a top 3 matchup on defense, and I'm starting against the Dolphins, or great matchups, then I'm going to do that because that is an advantage. If you have a defense that can get you 15, 20 points a week, and your opponent gets him 5 to 10, that's a huge advantage.
Yeah. It's okay.
So maybe that I agree with you saying like I had one guy in my other league hold 3 defenses on his bench, so he had 1 defense and 3 bench defense. He had 4 defenses on his roster. I don't know what his plan was. He just didn't want anyone to pick up defense, I guess.
Oh yeah, those. Yeah. By the way, these plans like, oh, I'm gonna take all the running backs so nobody else can have them. That never works. I've never seen that work. But I see all these dads and like these people who think they're smarter than their their kids in their competition try to do that. It doesn't work. Just stop. Anyways, it's past draft season, so that really doesn't matter. Cowboys defense is going to play well. Guy I'm down on, it's going to surprise some people, Evan Ingram.
Yeah, I seen you're not playing him this week.
I might play him because
Who are you playing over him? I forgot.
Jonnu Smith.
Okay. Well,
So-
that's not like Smith has a good matchup, but Ingram's a better talent. Just a worse
He is,
matchup.
yeah, and that's what that is. So
I thought you liked running 2 tight end sets.
I do like running 2 tight end sets, but then I'd have to bench my guy Juju.
Your guy? Since when did he turn into your guy?
About a few hours ago when we made that trade.
He was my guy at the beginning of the year. He's still my guy, but guess what, Juju? It's a business, right? This is a business. Just like Slay was upset that they traded Diggs. This is a business. My team is in the business of winning. I like you, Schuster. I'll get you next year. But right now, I'm trying to win the championship. I can't.
We're never going to shorten this part.
Schuster, it's more about Rudolph than it is you. So there it is.
We were probably at... it was 10 minutes ago when we started this game. Evan Ingram, I think...
We need a producer.
Yeah. Cowboys linebackers, like I said, really good. Or like Nick said, really good. And Ingram's going to run into him basically all night. I could see him getting a lot of receptions. Or maybe being a
lot
touchdown.
Of them, and I would be playing him because we earn a half-point PPR.
Yeah, if we're, he could either get like a few receptions or he's going to get like 2 catches and a touchdown, and so you'll make your points up there. But I don't think Evan Ingram's going to play to his top 5 tight end like he has been every week.
So to summarize this, you're more down on the matchup than the player.
Oh yeah, and with most of these, that's just how it is. Breaking news!
What happened?
Pittsburgh tried to trade for Le'Veon.
Oh, I saw that on my phone like a half hour ago. What kind of app are you using?
Bleacher Report, best app.
No, you got to get Sleeper.
Sleeper's a good app too.
I got that report. I got the report. I pull up my phone, but it was like a half hour ago. But I just decided that it wasn't like I didn't want to interrupt my analogy. So,
jeez.
But quick thoughts on that, Garrett. What are your quick thoughts on that?
It
just shows how desperate the Steelers are.
Yeah, what an embarrassing move, dude.
Imagine if you're Le'Veon Bell and they try to trade for you back. You're like,
well, no. What if they get the traded for you back?
No, but I know that. But like, you didn't want to pay me, and now you're trading for me. Like, what's going on here, Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Like you made it clear that you weren't going to give me the deal I wanted. I went in free agency, signed a deal, and now you're trading for me. I still have the deal. What's going on?
I'm low on Evan Ingram. If you have him, you should still
write
start
me down
him.
for the Cowboys winning this game.
So
I don't want you like putting an end by the Giants and taking a picture and say, yeah, you picked the Giants.
I'm picking the Cowboys as well.
You're not going to pick the Giants, eh?
No, why would I pick the Giants?
Well, you seem to be picking teams that I'm not picking. This could be a week where one of us separates from the other.
That's the thing.
Like,
and this Buccaneers pick might come back
here.
to bite me.
No, you wrote it down. You literally put your initial there. Because, Garrett, you're going to hold me on that Chiefs one where I can't make the pick until... So,
I know.
You picked the Buccaneers.
I'm picking the Bucs.
All right, so I'm locking in on the Chiefs.
All right.
Because I'm just going to have to hope that Mahomes plays. If he doesn't, then that's one loss. I'll go 14-1 this week. That's fine.
Sweet. All right. That's our podcast. I'm not even going to try.
If you
start Evan Ingram, just have your expectations tempered a little bit. He is playing Monday night, so if you need to put him in your flex and then move around some spots, I don't know.
If you like my analogies, then I will have more for you next week.
He'll have more for you on the website. Go check that out if you haven't already.
Well, I don't put my analogies on the website. It's too hard to type those out.
We don't put anything on the website.
I hunt and peck. I'm easier at talking than typing.
Easier at talking and typing. That's
yeah. You know how
the irony of that. Oh,
I can talk, but
happy Halloween, people! I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Hope you enjoy your week this week. I know I will when I beat Nick.
Oh wait! Don't cut it off there. You heard this. He made. All right, I can't wait.
Neither can I. This is gonna be fun.
I will be here. I will be here next week, and I hope Garrett's here. I hope you don't hide because. You know what?
You're the one who cancels the pod most of the time.
If I win,
can't wait.
No, listen. If I win, I'll take the high road. I'll be professional because I expect to win.
Oh Jesus!
See, like my brother, I love it. Before we go here,
okay.
My brother beat me week 1, and he was like, "Raise your hand if you're a 1-0," and I was like, "All right, that's how it's gonna be, right?" Then I went on a 5-game winning streak. I was like, "Raise your hand if you're, See, the difference is I don't get high on beating an opponent. I get high on winning championships.
See, now he's gonna. Okay, this is just a setup. So when I beat him,
no, but no, literally.
Oh, you didn't take the high road.
No. Listen.
Okay.
Some people get high on beating. It's like an accomplishment.
Yeah.
My brother beat me. It's like, oh, okay, my season's over. I beat my brother. He doesn't care if he wins now. He beat me. So, but it is what it is. I'm in first place in our league, so.
You're in first?
Well, technically I'm in first because I've beaten everyone in the top three. I've beaten the first place. I'm 6-2 in second place. The team ahead of me 7-1, but his loss came.
So that means you're in second place. That's what that means.
But I beat him by a lot, so.
Yeah, because, all right, whatever. We strategize, try to make this show shorter every single week.
You wonder why we do one podcast every 3 weeks?
Yeah, we try to make it shorter every
You divide
time.
it by 3, it might get to the time what we try to get to.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll see you next week after I beat Garrett.
Yeah, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weeks. Hope you're eating a lot of candy.
And hope you get a win because of me.
Hey, hope you get a win because of Primetime. Because the light shine brightest at Primetime. Enjoy your week, guys. Party on.